Good morning, friends. Good morning, friends. Okay, let's continue with our discussion on standard costing. In the last class, we learned that standard cost or standard is basically a plan of an organization against which the actual performance is compared. The objective or purpose of doing this comparison is to find out where the variation is and take certain corrective action and fix responsibility, because different people can be made responsible for different type of variances. Price variance is the responsibility of a purchase manager, whereas your quantity variance could be the responsibility of a production manager. Mix variance could be the responsibility of a planning person, whoever does the planning part of it. So different people can be made responsible for different variances. Also, the variances help us in understanding where we are going wrong, where we are going right. So wherever we are going wrong, we are forced to take certain corrective action. So how do we take those corrective action is also what we learned here. So in that, I'll first explain the difference between standard cost, budgeted cost, and actual cost. Standard cost refers to the cost to be incurred for actual output. Budgeted cost refers to the cost to be incurred for budgeted output. Standard is for actual output, budgeted is for budgeted output. And actual cost is the actual cost incurred, is the cost incurred for your actual output. In that, we started with material variances, where we have two situations: single material, multiple material. In a single material situation, in the y-axis you have SPAP, x-axis you have only SQAQ. You connect the first item SP into SQ, SP into AQ, AP into AQ. The top part is called price variance, the bottom part is called usage variance. When you have multiple material, in between SQ and AQ, you will get RSQ or RAQ, whatever name you want to give. So SP into SQ, SP into RSQ, SP into AQ, AP into AQ. The top part is called price, bottom together is called usage. The first part is called yield, second part is called mix variance. Any doubts on this? Any doubts on what we did? Go through question 1. Question 1. Okay, I'll start explaining, nothing much for you to see. Standard material for 70 kg, finished product is 100. What does the 70 and 100 mean? What is your understanding of the 70 and 100? Sorry? So what is that technically called? Input output ratio. The input is 100, output is 70. This is the plan. This is the plan. In reality, anything can happen. Price of material, this is the standard price. Then actual output, actual material use, actual cost. Calculate all relevant variances. Now first we need to decide, is it a single material or multiple material. What is multiple material? Is material A, B, something like that. Just because we are using more 2,10,000 kg or 2,80,000 kg does not mean it is a multiple material. Multiple material means they have to give material A, material B, or material X, material Y, something like that has to be there. This is a single material problem. This is a single material problem. Put the chart. SP, AP, SQ. Again, I'm repeating, chart may not be critical after one stage. After, in exam and all, it's not mandatory. It's your wish. I normally don't suggest to spend time on doing the chart in exam. In class, we will do it. SP, AP, SQ, AQ. SP into SQ, SP into AQ, AP into AQ. SP into SQ, SP into AQ, AP into AQ. What is the top part called? Price. Bottom part? Usage. Put together is Cost variance, material cost variance. Any doubts on this? Put the computation table below that. This is going to be fairly simple area. Standard costing is considered to be the toughest by students. But if you understand the logic of the formula, every problem I do, I'll follow the same pattern. Only place where students find it a little difficult is SQ calculation. There sometimes they make a mistake. What's the standard price given in the question? 1 per kg, two places. Now, actual price is not directly given. They mentioned actual material used is how much? See, this is called AQ, and this 2 lakh 10 is called what? AO. AO will be useful to calculate standard quantity. AO is going to be useful to calculate standard quantity. What they are saying is for 2,80,000 kg of raw material, the cost is 2,52,000. What is material cost is quantity into the price. Quantity into the price. This cost of material 2,52,000 is technically AP into AQ. Is technically AP into AQ, because I said SP into SQ is standard material cost, AP into AQ is actual material cost. So this AP into AQ is basically the actual material cost. Uh, Now here 2,52,000. So you can write below note 1, computation of AP, computation of AP. I can do even without this also. 2,80,000 kg equal to rupees 2,52,000. Tell me how much is 1 kg? 2,80,000 kg is equal to 2,52,000. 1 kg is how much? Point. How much is AQ? Two places. That is why I said AP into AQ. I could have directly written also. What is AP into AQ? Is actual material cost. AP into AQ is nothing but actual material cost, which we could have directly copy pasted 2,52,000. Only place where you need to spend some time in every question is SQ calculation. That alone may take some time. That also not very tricky. Note 2, computation of SQ. Computation of SQ. SQ is equal to AO into input by output. AO into input by output. How much is the actual output? 2 lakh. Input output 100 by 70. It's always the critical part is input output ratio, that you will have to get it properly. 100 by 70. 2 lakh 10,000 into 100 by 70. How much? And that's all. Problem is done. Variance calculation is a formality. What is most critical is getting the computation table correctly. Any doubts on 3 lakh? Now write 3 lakh here. So first column is 3 lakh. Second column is 2 lakh 80. And third is 2 lakh 52. 3 lakh 280 and 252. Please start calculating. Variance calculation, I normally don't want to spend any time on that. Start computing it. Material cost variance, material price variance, and usage variance. Should be straightforward, simple computation. If you have doubts, let me know. 3 lakh, 280, and 252 are the three columns. How much is material cost variance? 48,000 favorable. Price variance 28,000 favorable. Usage variance 20,000 favorable. Any doubts on this? Objective is to calculate and then fix responsibility. How responsibility is fixed and all you will see later. But once this is computed, we'll go ahead and then fix responsibility for these people. Clear? Any doubts on this? Can you proceed? Go through question 4. Go through problem 4. There's nothing much for you to read. Just quickly go through the question. Okay. Now the question has given certain information. They have given few variances also in the problem. So what we are going to do here is from the variance, we will try to get the computation table. If you get the computation table, that will give you what is standard input, what is actual input, how much is price. So objective is to somehow get the entire computation table. Once we get that, we'll kind of get all the answers. So this is reverse working. From the variance, we'll have to get to the table. Now when we start here, is it single material, multiple material? Multiple material. Let's put the chart. SP, AP, SQ, AQ, in between it will have RSQ. SP into SQ, SP into RSQ, SP into AQ, AP into AQ. Price, usage, yield, mix. The chart is not mandatory, again I'm repeating, but it is good to do. Okay, what are the material we have? In the side A, B, whatever data we have, we'll fill it. Others will try to get it. Do you have standard price of A and B in the question? How much? 12, 15, two places. Well, three places. Sorry. 12, 15, 12, 15. Objective is to get the computation table properly. 12, 15, 12, 15. Do you have AP in the question? How much? 15 and okay, okay. 15 and 20. Do you have AQ in the question? Actual quantity. Actual quantity is nothing but actual input. B we have 70. Okay, let's fill whatever is available. B is 70. A will see what to be done. Later we'll see. Do you have standard quantity in the question? A is available. How much? 50. Objective is whatever is given, we have put it in our format. Apart from that, what other data is there in the question? Material usage variance. Specifically, they have given for one material. Which material is that? B. I'm writing it in the top. You need not write 300 adverse. You need not write as of now. We'll see what to do with that. What else we have? Material. This is for both of them together. Both of them together, how much? Now, mix variance is for A and B together. Usage is only for B. Can you tell me the formula for material usage variance? Look at the chart, or if you remember, tell me the formula. Material usage variance. SP into, okay, SP into SQ minus. So this minus this, okay. What will happen is in this process, you will get what is this item. You will get what is this item because SP into SQ minus SP into AQ only for material B. Only for material B. So that missing data will come. That the first yellow shaded one is the missing information. So let's put that. Material usage variance is equal to material usage variance is equal to SP into SQ minus SP into AQ. SP into SQ minus SP into AQ. How much is the usage variance? 300 adverse, so write it as minus 300. In the formula, you can write only the sign. Minus 300 is equal to 15 SQ minus 15 into 70. This will give you the answer to SQ. We are doing only for material B, okay, not for A and B together here. How much is SQ? 50. Clear? Any doubts on this? 15 into 50. Clear? Now, this indirectly tells me one more thing. The mix between A and B is 50-50 or 1:1. The mix between A and B is 1:1 or technically 50-50. Technically, it's 50-50. Any doubts till this? We have used one of the variants given in the question. What is the formula for material mix variance? Okay. So SP into RSQ minus SP into AQ. Now the problem is RSQ also has two missing data. AQ has one missing data. So many missing data, difficult to find. If I have only one missing information, the equation will give the answer. Wait. You need not write, listen for some time. I am going to assume the actual quantity of A to be A. actual quantity of A to be A, you need not write, listen for some time. The actual quantity of A is A. Total of AQ is A plus 70. Total of AQ is A plus 70. RSQ is the total of AQ split in the ratio of 1 is to 1. Split in the ratio of 1 is to 1. RSQ is the total of AQ split in the ratio of 1 is to 1, which is technically A plus 70 by 2, A plus 70 by 2. So we have three missing information, but everything is denoted as A. Everything is denoted as A. So when we solve it, you will get somewhere the answer of A. You will get somewhere the answer of A. Wait. Once that is done, the table is over. After that, we will start calculating whatever the question says. Any doubts? I'll again explain. Material mix variance is the difference between this one and this item. SP into RSQ minus SP into AQ. RSQ of A missing. RSQ of B missing. AQ of A missing. AQ of A is taken as A. Total is A plus 70. A plus 70 by 2. A plus 70 by 2. Why by 2? Because 1 is to 1. How 1 is to 1? You see here 50-50. You see the mix here. Any doubts on this? Now come down. Note 2. Computation of AQ of A. Computation of AQ of A. Let us assume AQ of A to be A. AQ of A to be A. Total of AQ equal to A plus 70. Total of AQ is equal to A plus 70 split into 2. RSQ of A in bracket 1, RSQ of B again in bracket 1 are 50-50. It's basically 50-50. The mix is 50-50. Total of AQ in the ratio of standard mix. So this becomes A plus 70 by 2, and this also becomes A plus 70 by 2. Any doubts on this? RSQ of A is A plus 70 by 2. RSQ of B is also A plus 70 by 2. Clear? Now write material mix variance equal to SP into, what is the formula? SP into RSQ minus SP into RSQ minus SP into AQ. How much is the material mix variance? Minus 45 is equal to minus 45 equal to, what is the standard price of A? 12 into A plus 70 by 2 plus 12 into A plus 70 by 2. How much is the, because this is for two materials put together. They have clearly mentioned material mix variance is for both the items put together. What is the standard price of B? 15 into A plus 70 by 2. 12 into A plus 70 by 2. 15 into A plus 70 by 2. 12 into A plus 70 by 2. 15 into A plus 70 by 2 minus 12 into A plus 15 into 70. 12 into A plus 15 into 70. Get me the answer to A. Solve and let me know what you get as A. 40. I'm not doing the solving part. A is equal to 40. I'll not get into the solving part. In case you're not getting the answer, let me know. A is equal to 40 units. That is AQ of A is 40. If you're not getting, let me know. I'll do the detailed calculation. Are you getting it? Can we proceed? A is equal to 40. Once this is done, problem is almost over. We'll answer whatever is the requirement of the question. Objective was to somehow get the computation table, which we have almost done. Any doubts on A equal to 40? Can we proceed? Let's go back to the table. So write 40 here. 40 at two places, and this is 40 plus 70 by 2, 55. 40 plus 70 by 2, 55. Objective is always to get the computation table. Once that is done, problem will almost be very simple. 40 plus 70 by 2. Can we proceed? Tell me the total of the first one. 12 into 50 equal to M plus 15 into 50 equal to M plus MRC. 1000. Second one. 1 4. Third one. And just a checkpoint at this stage, the gap between these two should be 45. The gap between these two should be 45 adverse. If you're not getting that, then you have done some calculation error in your computation of A. This is just a checkpoint. What was the last one? Sorry? 2000. Now I will look at what is asked in the question and try to answer them. My objective was to somehow get to this table first. Table is done. We will now see what is the requirement of the question and answer that. Certain question marks are there. You'll have to find that. Any doubts on the table? Clear? Can we proceed? Okay. Next, working note to solution. This was the computation table. Working note to solution. Solution. I'll look at the question marks and start answering them. Point number A, standard input of B. We have already calculated this. Standard input of B. Look at the table and tell me. 50. Point number B. Standard input of B is 50. Next one is actual input of A. How much was that? This was technically your note 1 and note 2 in the earlier working note. Point number C, material price variance. Listen, you will have to write it like this. They've asked it separately. So write material price variance is equal to, first write the formula. Material price variance is equal to, what's the formula? SP into AQ minus AP into AQ. Then material price variance A, material price variance B. Look at the information only for product A. Tell me what is SP into AQ, what is AP into AQ, only for product A, only for product A, then only for product B. Question wanted us to do it separately. In short, the total we put no is of no use in this question. The total is of no use because they have not asked it together. They have not asked it together. What is the SP into AQ of material A alone? 480, and B, sorry, AP into AQ of A, 480 minus 600, 120 adverse, 120 adverse. SP into AQ of B alone, 10, AP into AQ, 1000. If they ask it together, I can add these also. They have not asked together value. The together value is not asked in the question. They wanted A separately and B separately. A is 120 adverse, B is 350 adverse. Any doubts on this? Clear? Can you proceed? What's the next thing asked in the question? Material usage variance. Material usage variance of A alone. Material usage variance of A alone. B need not be done because B is already there in the question. MUV for A alone. What is the formula for material usage variance? SP into SQ minus SP into AQ. Give me the number only for material A. SP into SQ of material A alone. How much? 600 minus. So 120 favorable. 120 favorable. 600 minus 480. 120 favorable is the material usage variance of A alone. B is already given in the question. Any doubts on this? Material cost variance A separately, B separately. Material cost variance A separately, B separately. How much is the material cost variance of A? 0. B? Clear? Any doubts on this? Can you proceed? Question 5 is homework. It's a reverse working problem. 5 is homework. 6 is homework. 7 as well as homework. All these are on material variances. Just give me a minute. ठीक है, 7 we will do it. Go through 7. Go through 7. Go through question 7. Okay, let's start this. Ronak Minerals Limited operates in iron ore mining through open cast mining method. Explosives and detonators are used for excavation of iron ore from the mines. So this explosive and detonators are the raw material. They are technically the raw material for the company. Following are the details of the standard quantity. What is the use of this is this will give you the input output ratio. The standard quantity needed for you are producing two products. One is iron ore and second is overburden. These are the two products which are indirectly getting manufactured by the company, or they are indirectly spending the raw material for these two items. One is iron ore, second is overburden. Overburden is of no use, but I'm spending some cost on that. If you want to extract 1 ton of iron ore, you'll have to spend 2.4 kg of raw material per ton. 2.4 kg. So 2.4 is to 1 is the input output ratio between SME and iron ore. Between SME and iron ore, the input output ratio is 2.4 is to 1. 2 is to 1 is the input output ratio between detonator and iron ore. Between the detonator and iron ore, the input output ratio is 2 is to 1. Between SME and overburden, tell me what is the input output ratio. I've just explained. So tell me what is the input output ratio between SME and overburden. 1.9 is to 1. Between detonators and overburden, 2 is to 1. The standard stripping ratio, that is whenever you are getting that iron ore, for 1 ton of iron ore, 3 cubic meter of overburden soil is to be removed. First, I remove the soil, I'll get the iron ore. That is what the question is indicating. There may not be any use of this information, you'll understand as we proceed. During the month of December 2020, when the company produced 20,000 tons of iron ore. For this 20,000, SQ is equal to AO into input by output. The input by output, I did talk about them. Then 58,000 cubic meter of overburden. For this also input output ratio. Actual quantity used is 167 200, 118 400, 65 53 600, 24 27 200. That is the value. You are required to compute material price variance, material quantity variance, material cost variance. So it's a two material problem. They have not asked for mix and yield. They have not asked for mix and yield. In my computation table, I will write SP into RSQ, but I will not be calculating it. I'll show the calculation in class for your understanding purpose, but SP into RSQ is not needed to solve the question. I can calculate it, spend some time on it. That will be wastage of time because question has not asked for mix variance and yield variance. It is a multiple raw material problem, multiple finished product. You have multiple raw material as well as multiple finished product. What are the multiple finished products? You have one is called iron ore and second is called overburden. Let's put the table first. SP into SQ, SP into RSQ, SP into AQ, AP into AQ, SP into SQ, SP into RSQ, SP into AQ, AP into AQ. What are the raw material? Give me the raw material name. Sorry? Explosive. They said use some SME, some name, no? Okay, that explosive is called SME. I don't know. What is the short name? I don't know. SME and detonators. Maybe SME could be special mining explosive, something. SME and detonators are the two raw material. What's the standard price given in the question? 40 and 20. Not required. I'm not filling this, but I'll show it in the end. 40, 20. Any doubts on this? Now listen. This is the quantity, this is the amount. The quantity of explosive material used and paid for the month is as follow. So the quantity and the amount is given. Amount by quantity will give you the price. Price into quantity will give you the last column. Price into the quantity. We did that problem where I said 2,52,000 divided by 2,80,000 again multiplied with 2,80,000. So I'm copy pasting these two numbers directly in the last column. 65, 53, 600, 24, 27, 200 directly in the last column. If you want, can you tell me 65, 53, 600 divided by 167, 200? Some rare scenario rounding of issue can also come. When you divide, what you get? 30, 24, 27, 200 divided by 118, 400. How much? So if I want, I can write this, multiply with the quantity and get the same number. Multiply again with the quantity and get the same number. Dividing and multiplication doesn't serve any purpose. Directly, let's write the last column figure. 63, 53, 600, 118, sorry, not 118, 24, 27, 200. 63 lakh 53,600, 24 lakh 27 200. What is the AQ figure of SME and detonators? 167. Okay. 18. 167 200, 118 400. Okay, now comes the most tricky part. Listen for some time. I'll calculate the SQ part. Listen for some time. First, I'm doing it for SME. SQ is equal to AO into input by output. First product, what is the output? Product 1, what is the output? There are two products. There is an iron ore and there is a overburden. 20,000. Listen for some time. The most important part. Tell me the input output ratio between iron ore and SME. Between iron ore and SME. 2.4 kg per ton. So 2.4 is to 1. 2.4 kg per ton. This is 20,000 tons. So into 2.4 by 1. Any doubts on this? It doesn't end here. Plus because you are producing two different products. You are producing because you need your raw material not only for iron ore, you will also need it for overburden. You will also need it for overburden. How many units of overburden? 58,000. What's the input output ratio between overburden and SME? Tell me the total of this. 20,000 into 2.4 by 1, 58,000 into 1.9 by 1. I'll explain again. I don't want you to write, listen for some time. Standard quantity is always calculated with the help of actual output. Sometimes a company may produce product 1, product 2, product. In labor chapter, if you remember, a worker could be producing multiple product. We used to follow the standard equation approach, get standard quantity for product 1, product 2, product 3 and add up standard time for product 1, product 2, product 3, add up everything and that used to be called as the standard time. Compare with actual time and get time saved. Now write SQ, note whatever note number, computation of SQ. SQ equal to AO into input by output. AO into input by output. First we are doing for SME. SME is equal to, what is the output of the first product? 20,000. Input output ratio between iron ore and SME. Plus detonators. What is the output? Into, tell me the total. 1 lakh. 1 lakh 58,200 kg. This is measured in kg. Against this 158,200, we have used 167,200. That is what we have ended up using. We should have used 158,200. Any doubts on this? Clear? Let's do it for detonators then. Just give me a minute. We'll do the calculation for detonators, which is 20,000 into what? And next product 58,000 into all put together how much? 1 lakh. Tell me the total of the first column. Sorry, 48. Second column not required. Third column 90 lakh, 56,000. Last column 87 lakh. Calculate those three variances asked. Mix and yield is not asked. I'll be back in a minute. Let me check the internet part. I'll be back in a minute. This would be your answers. I'll explain if at all yield mix is to be done, what we will have to do. This should be your answers. Can you proceed? Any doubts on this? Clear? Okay. In case you want to do yield variance and mix variance, RSQ is the total of this in this ratio. In the ratio of 1582 is to 1560, because we have different mix. For product 1 there was a ratio, product 2 there was a ratio, product 1 raw material 1 ratio, product 1 raw material 2 1 ratio, product 2 raw material 1, product 2 raw material 2. Four different ratios are there. Combining all these is 1582 is to 1560. 1582 is to 1560. 60. This is a situation where we have multiple raw material, multiple finished product. So in that case, if you want to do RSQ, I cannot say RSQ means 2.4 is to 2. I cannot say 1.9 is to 2 because you have two different mix given in the question. 2.4 is to 2 is also a mix. 1.9 is to 2 is also a mix. Combining all this together is 1582 is to 1560. If at all we want, you'll have to add up the AQ, split in the ratio of 1582 is to 1560. Any doubts on this? Clear? Can you proceed? 8 is homework. It is similar to 7. Here you are going to have two raw material and two finished product. Yep. Tell me.
Screen is not visible, sir.
Not visible. Okay. Fine now.
It's too blurry, sir.
Too blur. Are others facing the issue with others? Can you
Yes, sir.
confirm? Okay. I'll have to stop the video then. Should be fine now onwards. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So 8 is homework. 9 is homework.
Sir,
Yeah.
can you repeat the last part which we teaching, sir?
So the last part is okay. In case you have to do RSQ calculation in question 7, you have to split that in the ratio of 1582 to 1560. That's the standard mix. The mix between SME and detonators is 1,58,200 is to 1,56,000, which is 1582 is to 1560. 10 is homework. Go through 11. Go through question 11. Okay, I'll quickly take you through this. It is going to be a straightforward, simple question. Following are the details of the product Fomex for the month of April 2013. Standard quantity of material required, actual output, actual cost of material used, material price variance, actual price is found to be less than standard price by 10 rupees, actual quantity and price of material used, material usage variance, material cost variance. First thing we'll have to decide, is it a single material or multiple material? Once we decide that, we can straightforward start computing it. Single material, multiple material. Single material. Let's put the computation table. It's a reverse working problem. Objective is to get the computation table. SP into SQ. SP into AQ, AP into AQ. Whatever information is available, let's write that. Balance, we'll see how do we get get to that data. Tell me whatever information is available. Let's write that first. Which information do you have? SQ is how much? SQ can't be 5 kg. That is SQ per unit. So what is that 5 kgs? Input output ratio is 5 is to 1. The input output ratio is 5 is to 1. But that can't be the SQ directly. That can't be the SQ directly. SQ is always calculated with the help of what? Actual output. So leave some gap, note 1. In this question, SP, AP and all is not directly available. Computation of SQ. SQ equal to AO into input by output. AO into input by output. How much is the AO? 1000. Input output ratio 5 by 1. So SQ I know it is 5000. What else is there? There's one more information which is there. AP into AQ is, so write 7,14,000. We will try to split this later. We will try to split this later. Why splitting is that is some missing information. We'll have to find missing information. I don't know what is AP. I don't know what is AQ, but I know the total is 7,14,000. I know the total is 7,14,000. Why I'll try to split it is some requirement is there in the question. Otherwise, you can directly write 7,14,000 in the top as well as the bottom. Any doubts on this? Apart from this, one more information is there in the question. What is the information? Material price variance. What is the formula for material price variance? SP into AQ minus AP into AQ. Let's try to use this. You will get most of the data. Material price variance is equal to SP into AQ minus AP into AQ. We will get most of the missing information with this. How much the material price variance? Now listen for some time. SP minus AP into AQ. I make SP minus AP outside and AQ keep it as common. Reason for this, the question has talked about the difference between SP and AP. Read below what they have mentioned. Actual price is found to be less than the standard price by 10 rupees. I don't know the standard price. Let's assume standard price is 100. Actual price will be 90. Standard price is 50. Actual price will be 40. Standard price is 20. Actual price will be 10. There is a 10 rupee difference. So in short, SP minus AP is plus 10. SP minus AP is plus 10. Question says actual price is found to be less than the standard price by 10 rupees. By 10 rupees. So the gap between SP and AP is 10. The gap between SP and AP is 10. So now write 51,000 equal to SP minus AP into AQ equal to 10 AQ. You'll get the answer to AQ. SP minus AP is 10 rupees. The gap between them is 10 rupees. So how much is the AQ number? 5,000. I take it here. Now tell me what should be the AP number. That is why I didn't want to write 7,14,000 as it is. We can split it. One. If AP is 140, What will be SP? 130 or 150? 10 rupees difference is there. If AP is 140, what will be standard price? 130 or 150? Which is more? SP is more or AP is more? SP is more. So 150. My table is over, problem is over according to me. This is 7 lakh 50. This is 7 lakh 65. Now we will look at the requirement of the question and start answering. Most of it we have already got. Most of the requirement of the question is already calculated by us. 7 lakh 50, 7 lakh 65 and 7 lakh 14. What are the requirements of the question? Actual quantity we have already got. What is actual quantity? Actual price. See, always quantity, right? Kg, liters, units, whatever it is. 5100 kg. Actual price 140. Material usage variance. SP into SQ minus SP into AQ. 15,000 adverse. 36,000 favorable. 15,000 adverse and 36,000 favorable. Done? Can you proceed? Any doubts on this? Done? Okay. Now go to the theory notes. Any doubts on this? We are done with material variances. I have given, I think, 5 homework questions. Practice them. They'll give you more clarity. Question 10 was homework. 9 was homework. 8 was homework. 6 was homework. And 5. So 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. All the 5 are homework. More for practice. Okay. Now I move to the next part, which is on labor variances. So in your theory note, right, labor variances. labor variances. Now, when we do labor variances, when we did material variances, we had two category of question: single material, multiple material. Labor also we have the same category: single labor, multiple labor. But there's one add-on. In a labor variance problem, you can have two types of question: one with idle time, second without idle time. What is idle time? Is time for which workers are not doing any work but still getting the payment. So whenever we are analyzing variance, they are saying idle time you separately calculate. Is separately calculate because it's fully abnormal in nature. I cannot have any logic for an idle time variance. So if there's an idle time variance which has happened, so when I'm trying to evaluate how efficiently workers are working, I get to know that 200 hours were wasted. So let's consider that separately. Let's calculate only for the hours they have worked. What is the efficiency or what is their productivity? So here we have four situations: single labor without idle time, single labor with idle time, multiple labor without idle time, multiple labor with idle time. Situation 1, write along with me. Situation 1, single labor without idle time. Single labor without idle time. Without idle time. Almost similar requirement. Listen, for material variances, the two components were price and quantity. For labor, it is number of hours into the rate per hour. It is rate and number of hours. There it is price and quantity. What used to come in y-axis there? SP and AP. Here it is called SR AR, standard rate, actual rate, right? SR AR. What was there in x-axis? SQ and AQ. Here it is called SH and AH. Standard hours, actual hours, or standard time, actual time. Computation table: SR into SH, SR into AH, AR into AH. Exactly same thing. SR into SH, SR into AH, AR into standard rate into standard hours, standard rate into actual hours, actual rate into actual hours. Gap between SR and AR is called as what variance there? SP and AP difference was called price variance. Here it is called rate variance, labor rate variance. SQ and AQ difference was called what there? Usage. Here it is called efficiency. In fact, if you remember, when you are done in labor chapter, there was a formula for efficiency which was standard time by actual time. So efficiency compares standard time and actual time. Put together is the cost variance. Below this, labor cost variance is equal to SR into SH minus AR into AH. SR into SH minus AR into AH split into labor rate variance, labor efficiency variance, rate variance and efficiency variance. Okay, look at this. Tell me what is the formula for labor rate variance. Everyone to participate. SR into H. Everyone can participate, guys. I cannot keep repeating this. SR into AH minus AR into AH. Efficiency SR into SH minus SR into AH. So the formula will automatically come from the chart. So write this side: labor rate SR into SH minus SR into AH. Sorry, SR into AH minus AR into AH, sorry, SR into AH minus AR into AH. Rate is SR into AH minus AR into AH. Efficiency is SR into SH SR into SH minus SR into AH. Clear? Any doubts on this? Done. Now below this note, the note is exactly going to be similar to this. Now write standard rate. Standard rate refers to the rate to be paid for every hour. Rate to be paid for every hour. Rate to be paid for every hour refers to the rate actually paid for every hour. Rate to be paid for every hour. Rate actually paid for every hour. Rate to be paid and rate actually paid. Standard hours refers to the time to be taken, refers to the time to be taken for producing actual output. Time to be taken for producing actual output. Actual hours refer to time actually taken. Time to be taken and time actually taken. Time to be taken and time actually taken. Clear? Can you proceed? Any doubts on this? Next, situation 2. Situation 2. Single labor with idle time. Single labor with idle time. Now, what is idle time is this refers to the time during which work did not happen, but still you had to pay the employees. Why this could happen? Could be because of some normal reason, could also be because of abnormal reason. Normal we are not bothered about, that's not called idle time. An example of a normal reason is lunch break, which is known fact. It will be considered in the automatically in the standard time. When they fix the standard time, they will consider all these items like lunch break, coffee break, some rest time and all. But abnormal is power failure has happened, because of which the class is not happening or the company is not able to do production. That is technically called abnormal idle time. This they somehow should avoid it. How can they avoid? Maybe with alternate power sources. So power failure cannot impact my production. Organizations do have, if a power failure happens, they will have backup, power backup, and run the power backup and continue with the production. So in this situation, listen for a minute and then you do it. SR, AR, listen for some time. SH, AH will now be called as AHW, AHP. There are two types of AH. One is called AHW and another one is called AHP. What is AHW's? Actual hours worked. AHP's actual hours paid. The gap is the idle time. The gap is the idle time. You worked for, always worked will be lesser than paid. Worked cannot be more than paid. Worked can never be more than paid. You are paid for 10,000 hours. Employees worked for maximum 10,000 only. They cannot work for more than that. If you have worked for more than that, you will have to pay more. So if you have worked 9,500 hours, got payment for 10,000 hours, 500 is idle time. The table will be, listen for some time, SR into SH, SR into AHW, SR into AHP, AR into AHP. I'll give you time to write, listen for some time. SR into SH, SR into AHW, SR into AHP, AR into AHP. The top part is called rate. This is efficiency, because to measure efficiency I should compare standard time with the hours worked, not hours paid, because hours paid has idle time. The last part is called idle time variance. Idle time variance will always be adverse. Idle time variance will always be adverse. You cannot say there is a favorable idle time variance. There cannot be a possibility of a favorable idle time variance. Tell me the formula for labor efficiency variance. Look at the chart. SR into SH minus SR into AHW. Labor idle time variance. SR into AHW minus SR into AHP. Labor rate variance. SR into AHP minus AR into AHP. The smallest rectangle minus the biggest one is the labor cost, which is SR into SH minus AR into AHP. So first put the chart, below put the computation table and then start writing the formula. Put the chart, computation table and then write the formula. Put the chart first, computation table below the chart. put the chart computation table, below that the formulae. I hope you have written the formula as well. Anyway, I'll write it in case some of you are struggling. Labor cost variances, smallest rectangle minus the biggest one. In this case, it is split into three: labor rate variance, labor efficiency variance, labor idle time variance. There are three sub breakup. What is the formula for labor rate variance? SR into AHP minus AR into AHP. Efficiency SR into SH minus SR into AHW. Idle time SR into AHW minus SR into AHP. Any doubts on this? The formula is something I don't want you to remember anything. I'm giving the formula because I have to give, otherwise chart is sufficient. Below chart, this computation table is also of no use. Once you are aware of the chart, you know how to write the computation table, how to get the formula. Everything is just a formality. What is most critical is getting the formula correctly. Once you're getting the chart correctly. Once the chart part is done, everything else is just a formality. Any doubts? Can you proceed? Any doubts on this? Done? Okay, below this note, idle time, idle time refers to the time, refers to the time paid but not worked, refers to the time paid but not worked. In short, it is the difference between, it is the difference between actual hours paid and actual hours worked. Difference between actual hours paid and actual hours worked. That gap is called idle time. The gap between actual hours paid and actual hours worked is technically called as idle time. Clear? Can you proceed? Next, situation 3: multiple labor without idle time. Multiple labor without idle time. The base calculation remains same. That is your SR, AR, SHH. Listen for a minute and then you do it. This side I have SR, AR, I have SH, AH. When we had with idle time, we made it as AHW, AHP. Now it's without idle time, SHAH is written. When you have multiple labor, in between we'll have RSH, like RSQ. Like RSQ will have RSH. Listen for a minute. SR into SH, SR into RSH, SR into AH, AR into AH. The top part is called rate, bottom together is called efficiency, this is called yield, this is called mix. There is another name for yield, I'll give that name. There's another name for mix, that also I'll mention. Tell me what is the formula for labor yield variance? SR into SH minus SR into RSH. Labor mix variance, RSH minus SR into AH. Labor efficiency variance, SR into SH minus SR into AH. Labor rate variance, SR into AH minus AR into AH. Overall labor variance, labor cost variance, SR into SH minus AR into AH. So below this our table will have SR into SH, SR into RSH, SR into AH, AR into AH. This is exactly same as multiple material, where we had Sp into Sq, Sp into Rsq, Sp into Aq, Ap into Aq. Here it is sorry, here it is Sr into Sh, Sr into Rsh, Sr into Ah, and Ar into Ah. Put the chart computation table and then write the formula. So your variances are labor cost split into labor rate, labor efficiency split into labor yield variance, or I'll give the other name, labor sub efficiency variance. There it was called sub usage. Labor yield or labor sub efficiency variance. I'm not writing the formula. This side it is labor mix or labor gang variance. Gang is basically the mix. These are the other names. Labor mix variance or labor gang variance. Labor yield variance or labor sub efficiency variance. Labor mix variance or labor gang variance. I hope formula and all you are able to write. Anyone still wants me to write the formula, let me know, I'll write it. If you want me to write the formula in the screen, I'll write it. Otherwise, you should be in a position to write the formula on your own, but still you want me to, I'll do it. Okay. Labor cost is SR into SH, AR into AH, smallest rectangle minus the biggest rectangle, SR into SH minus AR into AH, rate variance SR into AH, AR into AH, SR into AH, AR into AH, efficiency SR into SH, SR into AH, SR into SH minus SR into AH. That is the efficiency part. Yield was SR into SH minus SR into RSH, and this was SR into RSH minus SR into AH. As I said, except for the first time which I did material 1 material problem, I am not going to explain chart in detail. Once you understand that, everything else is just a formality. That is why the first session was very critical. Once you get clarity in the first session, these are just formality. Any doubts on this? Any doubts on this? Can you proceed? Note, RSH refers to RSH refers to total of total of actual hours in standard mix. Total of actual hours in standard mix. There we did total of actual quantity in standard mix. Here it is total of actual hours in standard mix. Any doubts on this? Can you proceed? Next, situation 4. Situation 4. Multiple labor with idle time. Multiple labor with idle time. Right? SR, AR, SR and AR. You have listen for a minute. SH, AH, because it's multiple in between RSH will come. Because it's multiple in between RSH will come. And because there's idle time, AH will become AHW, AHP. Because there is idle time in this question, AH will become AHW and AHP. So now write SRAR, this side SH, RSH, AHW, AHP. SR into SH, SR into RSH, SR into AHW, SR into AHP, AR into AHP. SR into AHW, SR into AHP, AR into AHP. SR into SH, SR into RSH, SR into AHW, SR into AHP, AR into AHP. What's the top part called? Rate. The top part is called rate variance. Bottom part, this is called yield, this is called mix, and this is called idle time. There's nothing new explanation from my side for all this, okay? Why it is yield and all we learnt in material variance only. Yield, mix and idle time. Yield and mix put together is called efficiency. Idle time is not part of efficiency variance, okay? Yield and mix put together is called efficiency. Yield and mix put together is called efficiency variance. Yield and mix put together is called efficiency variance. Any doubts? Now write labor cost variance equal to smallest rectangle minus the biggest one. Labor cost equal to small minus the big. Labor cost variance equal to, tell me the formula. SR into SH minus AR into AHP. This gets split into 3. Like when we have idle time, we split into 3. Labor rate, labor efficiency, labor idle time. Efficiency will have a further split. We'll see that later. Labor rate, labor efficiency, and labor idle time variance. Labor rate, labor efficiency, and labor idle time. What is the labor rate variance? SR into AHP minus AR into AHP. SR into AHP minus AR into AHP. Labor idle time SR into AHW minus SR into AHP. I am not explaining any formula. You guys are only telling me the formula. If you understand the chart properly, you have a doubt in the chart, I'll clarify. Efficiency, look at the chart and tell me the formula. SR into SH, two things put together. I said efficiency is this and this. Two things put together is the efficiency. Two things put together is the efficiency. So SR into what? SH minus SR into AHW, not RSH. RSH is your yield variance. RSH is yield. Yield and mix put together. So from the chart, if you look at, it is combination of two things. It is combination of this fully. This part fully is the mix variance, which is comparing SH with AHW. Comparing SH with AHW, because you'll have to link both of them together. You'll have to link both of them together. Next, this yield, your efficiency is split into yield variance or sub efficiency variance, mix variance or gang variance. Yield or sub efficiency, mix or gang. Yield or sub efficiency, mix or gang. Yield or sub efficiency, mix or gang. Tell me the formula for yield variance. Minus mixes SR into RSH SR into AHW. All these are self-explanatory. If there are doubts, let me know. Any doubts on this, please let me know. SR into RSH minus SR into AHW. Can you proceed? Any doubts? Done. Now write a note. Listen for a minute. Same note only I have to write. But the problem now is, if I ask you what is actual hours, you'll have to answer. There's an actual hours worked, there's an actual hours paid. When you did situation 3, we had actual hours only. There was no actual hours worked or actual hours paid. So what happens is, when you do a situation 4, when you have multiple labor with idle time, when you have single labor with idle time, I don't have a problem because I don't calculate RSH. In single labor, we don't calculate RSH. And when we have multiple labor without idle time, I don't have AHW and AHP. This AHW, AHP, RSH, this combination is there only for situation 4. It's there only for situation 4. Now in situation 4, RSH refers to the total of, listen, the formula for your mix variance compares RSH with what? AHW. So RSH is the total of actual hours worked. This worked alone, maybe you highlight or in a different color pen. Actual hours worked in standard mix. Because some students in a hurry have taken actual hours paid in standard mix and done problem. It is actual hours worked in standard mix. Clear? Any doubts on this? RSH is the total of actual hours worked in standard mix. Why actual hours work? Because mix variance compare RSH with AHW. Mix variance is comparing RSH with AHW. Any doubts on this? problem solving part I'll start in the next session on labor variances. Only request is just revise the four charts and then come for the next session, because I have to continue from those four charts and start doing problem and complete your homework part. We're done with this today.